Hello. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hello. I tried this a while back. It didn't work. I had to do it again. My computer had to be rebooted. I did have some folks on here. That was an hour ago, so I'm pretty sure I lost them. However, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to record again and hope someone watches this in the future, I guess, or not. I just wanted to say hello. It's been a while. Haven't done one of these in I think 2 years. According to my YouTube channel, it says I live streamed my diamond dot painting video a year ago. But in my mind, it couldn't have been a year ago. It had to have been 2 years ago. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Anyway, here I am. I just wanted to show you some things I've been doing lately, specifically my watercolor project that I'm taking on. Let's see. Right now, some things that are happening with me. I just finished a show at a place called the Tracy Morgan Gallery in Asheville. It's an awesome venue. I do have some videos about it and all that. And then let's see. In the fall, I'm going to be teaching at Western University. I'll be teaching Intro to Drawing. And I have some time this summer. I just got back from a trip up to New York to see my mother and some family members. And yeah, I have a couple of weeks before school starts again. And I just wanted to reconnect with some of my former students, my adult students, and the people that I came to know through this platform, particularly during lockdown when I was doing live stream tutorials. And as fun as that was, I did decide to shake things up and go back to grad school. Go back to school, I should say. And so now I'm teaching, and that's just a very quick update. Something I've gotten into, in grad school, I started working with ceramics. And ceramics, I discovered, are a really good material for painting palettes, specifically watercolor painting. Now, I got interested in watercolor painting because last year I was asked to teach a watercolor painting class. I didn't know a lot about it, and I just did a lot of research and found these companies that make small batches of watercolors, and that got me excited to make my own watercolors. So I'm going to show you some of those. Now, I'm just going to talk watercolors a little bit here. So let's see. Let's get this out of the way. So I have a bunch of these. These are little palettes that I have made. They are made from a cone 6 fired white clay, and then they are glazed with this satin kind of a white glaze. And these are all like prototypes, little designs that I've come up with for portable palettes. I really like this design right now because there's this crevice in here, and that is really good for keeping a paintbrush. So I'm still working out these designs. This is one that holds a little more paint, but fewer colors. And I'm gradually getting them filled with different colors because, I'm just working on the actual colors. So I wanted to show you this palette right now. These are the colors for it. So basically, anytime I get a watercolor painting palette, I will go ahead and just test the colors on a separate piece of paper. So this is the blue. I'm going to point with a pen. Blue, that's the blue there. It's very dark. Green, green, orange, orange, brown, brown. This kind of magenta, and then yellow, yellow. So I know it's hard to see. The colors look very dark in the palette, and that's because I don't use a lot of filler. So a lot of companies, in order to save money, will add calcium carbonate to their paints so that it goes a little longer, it goes further away. When you add enough calcium carbonate, it will make your paints lighter. If you're only using calcium carbonate, you will get a white watercolor paint. So this is my magenta, but with a bunch of calcium carbonate in it so that it's this pink color. And it makes it more opaque also. So yeah, these are just some designs I'm trying out. I've also done these little pods. Or I like to call them dots. Sometimes they have a lot more paint in them. This is the green. But I just want them to be kind of pretty and like fun, like they feel nice in your hand when you're working with them. And I just wanted to design pretty things for the studio. As I would say, it's a way of ornamenting the studio. Here's another kind of a palette that I designed. So this is a tile that actually you use it as a palette, and then when you're not working with it, you can hang it up on like on a tack on the wall. And so that's a good way for storage, but it also kind of looks like its own little picture. So it's meant to be decorative and functional in your studio. So yeah, I've just enjoyed coming up with tools for the studio. Like maybe they're not so practical, but there's something just kind of fun about having just a bespoke tool for your studio. I've made a bunch of these glitter shakers, they're called. And you see there's like a little cork down here, and they're meant to hold glitter and sprinkle glitter on your projects. This one I made a black glitter. I used charcoal from burnt wood and mica and, ground those together for my glitter. So I want to show you some of these colors and show you how they work, because it's kind of fun. Anytime I get a watercolor palette, I try to make some kind of color chart. So this is the color chart for all the colors in here. And I always recommend that to people when they get new paint, is do some tests, maybe make a color chart like this. And I think I'll do this in a different video. But for now, I'll just show you about testing these paints here. So I have some clean water, and we'll work with the magenta first. So you can see it's just so yummy to work with. It's such a rich experience working with watercolors. And these paints that I've made just have like a nice amount of pigment in them. And they also have an interesting dispersal quality to them, meaning the way the pigments spread out over the page. So here's my orange. It's always important to have a paper towel handy when you're working with watercolors. Let's do the ultramarine blue. I really want to make these two touch. I love what happens when they, like, you get them to touch. They will disperse into each other. They'll bleed into each other. And I love that quality. Okay. Yellow. This is India yellow. I did have some blue in my brush here, so it kind of turned into slightly green. This is the brown. Now the brown is a pigment called Blue Ridge Violet Hematite. And I'll show you a piece I did with all browns. This kind of feels like cocoa when you work with it. And then last but not least is the green. And this is a lot lighter. I did put some of that calcium carbonate in here, so it's a little bit lighter in color. Let's see. This morning I did a portrait, and that's using the brown, the pink I just showed you, and the yellow, and that's it, just those colors. But like, I love moments like that where the pigment starts to spread out around the page. I just think that's such a wonderful quality, and it's so fun with watercolors. And then I like to take the red, a little of the blue, and the brown and mix them together. Normally with my other paints, that would give me some kind of a black to work with. It does yield a nice dark kind of a violet here. And I just think it's really, just really luscious. And honestly, I just feel like I could make these color studies all day long. Here's a landscape I did. With this, I did use a different palette of colors. These are not my own colors. These are from the Koi watercolor palette, which is this, which is a nice palette to take painting out in the landscape with. When I did this, I hadn't yet started making my own little palettes like this. So now I need to take my own palettes out into the landscape and just see how that's going to work for me. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce you to this fun new project I'm working on, making watercolors. All of these are prototypes. If you are interested in acquiring something like a little palette like this one, I'm still loading these, but if you want to acquire one, feel free to just leave a donation for my channel and send me a note, and I will send one to you. It's sliding scale, donation, whatever you want to pay. $40, $30. I would send something like this to you. That would include tax and shipping charges, and a palette like this. At this point, I would say 85 to 125. Again, up to you what you want to pay. But yeah, if you're interested in trying these out, while I'm still kind of developing them, you are free to do that. I have my Venmo and PayPal is in the description of this video. I'm also coming up with some new workshop ideas. So if you want to keep in touch about that, you are welcome to sign up to my newsletter, which you can find on my website, which is ursulagullow.com. If you go to the contacts page, there is a way to sign up to that. But yeah, I love just playing around, watching the colors. I find it very relaxing. Something I'm really into lately is just this idea of art making being a therapeutic practice, in a way to just find calm and refuge in a pretty intense world. There's a lot going on right now in the world that, I don't know, there's a lot of changes happening. And if you're not prepared, for me, I need refuge. I need a place to be, and I need community. So another thing that I'll be doing in the future is in October, I'll be hosting public art making sessions where we all can get together and just work on things like this together. And again, stay tuned for more information about that. I want to take the upcoming days as an opportunity to do some more tutorial video specifics, like focusing on a specific thing. But for now, I wanted to just use the opportunity to just get comfortable with this again. And just show you what I've been doing with these watercolors, these palettes. I find them to be like very luscious to work with. I see someone has joined the chat. Palm Entertainment. Have you ever worked with watercolors, Palm Entertainment? Maybe he's not there anymore, or she, I don't know. Okay. Oh, then you should come. You should join more of these sessions so you can learn how to work with watercolor. If you are new to watercolor, what I suggest is just get out some paper, some clean water. My favorite thing to do is grab a brush full of water, put it down on the page, and I know you all know where this is going. Grab a nice healthy bit of paint and put it in there and just watch it disperse across your page. It is just such a satisfying and lovely thing to do. It's just mesmerizing. And then, of course, it always changes as it's drying. So that's a magical thing about watercolor also. I really fell in love with this while I was teaching last spring. I don't know if it's prevalent on the video, but the purple, this magenta, is just so vibrant. It's so rich, and just a little bit goes a very long way. if you're looking for something to paint on, this kind of thing, usually you want 100% cotton paper, but this watercolor pad, it's a little less expensive, but this makes really good paper to just test your paints out on. I have a bunch of watercolor blocks also I like to use. Another thing that's fun is if you like to work on paper or canvas, I'm sorry, if you like to work on wood, panel, or canvas, this absorbent ground by Golden is a really awesome thing to work on. You just paint on your palette and it makes this really cool surface to paint on. So this is actually something I did earlier that is using the absorbent ground. I'm going to continue to work on this so you can see how it works. It's slightly different than using paper. It does just kind of absorb into, when you're painting, it kind of just absorbs into the surface, hence the name, absorbent ground. But it's a really satisfying surface to use with watercolors. Okay. Another thing I love about watercolors is you can just keep layering them and layering them. And it's just wonderful. I do like to combine this kind of intuitive way of working with more technical drawing skills. I have been teaching drawing to my college classes, and so I am considering a future workshop that combines observational drawing with these more intuitive approaches to mixed media. So if you're interested in that, again, sign up for my newsletter and you'll hear more details about it. Okay, I am going to head off here. This was kind of a impromptu session since the original live stream wasn't quite working. I was talking for about half an hour before I was alerted that it wasn't working. Again, I just want to show you some of these things. If you're interested and want to try any of this out, feel free to find me. UrsulaGullow@gmail.com is my email, or just leave a donation on one of my links I have in the description, and just specify what you're interested in. A little pot, a little thing like this, $40 or more. A palette like this, $75 or more. And that will help me with developing these products even further. I find them really fun and exciting. Look how gorgeous that turned out. I mean, of course, you can do these techniques with your own watercolors. You don't need to buy mine. But I try to make it so it's sort of fun. Like this is a leaf that has yellow and blue. So you can get different combinations of green when you're painting with it. So I like to create these little bespoke objects with paint in them that the watercolor experience is not as expected. It's a little more, you get surprises. With this leaf, I have red and down first magenta, and then the ultramarine. There's a little bit of ultramarine on top of it. I love those kind of like I said, those unexpected qualities. Let's look at how these all work. Look at that brown. The dispersal rate with that can be somewhat unpredictable, but that's what I love about it. And I just love that rich cocoa flavor, that rich cocoa color. The green, again, that comes out a little lighter. But yeah, and if you're done, when you finish your colors, you will have just an empty pod like this that you can add more of your own to. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you can find me next time. We'll work on something specific together. I have these like lovely little fruits from my garden that I was hoping to paint today. This is a weird cucumber. I'm not sure why this is going on. If someone knows, let me know why. It's supposed to be a regular cucumber. I wanted to paint that also. So maybe that will be the next video. All right. Thank you so much for watching and have a fabulous day.